The pain of breaking a trauma bond can be so intense and so overwhelming that it may feel like your whole world is crashing down on you. So just know it's completely normal to feel angry, stuck, confused, conflicted, addicted, betrayed, maybe even broken. It's normal to get hit with tidal waves of grief, shame, failure, sadness, guilt, regret, fear, loneliness, self-doubt, knocking you down over and over again, and wondering if you'll ever feel normal another day in your life. I'm Lisa Blanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and today I am talking about trauma bonds, and I will provide 10 signs that you are in a trauma bond. A trauma bond is also known as a betrayal bond, or referred to as Stockholm Syndrome. It's a complex psychological phenomenon that describes the strong emotional attachment that forms between an abused person and their abuser. And this can include any type of abuse, so emotional, physical, sexual. The trauma bond is characterized by a mix of intensely positive and negative emotions, as well as recurring cycles of rewards and punishments, which creates a confusing and deeply entrenched dependency on the part of the victim towards the abuser. Here are 10 signs that you may be in a trauma bond. Number 1, there is a cycle of chaos, conflict, and highly stressful situations that the abuser is concocting and in control of. Sometimes they are doing this intentionally and maliciously, but often it's a subconscious program at play, a result of abnormalities in their nervous system functioning, along with a variety of defense mechanisms that they've developed in order to cope and survive. Number 2, the relationship almost always starts with the abuser creating an emotional or sexual addiction in you through their love and sex bombing tactics, which they have no intention or ability to sustain. Over time, you'll realize that your needs are no longer being met, and yet you can't leave the relationship. Number 3, you repeatedly go from the top of the pedestal to the doghouse until you're almost solely living in the doghouse. The attention, admiration, validation, idealization, emotional availability, and support are mostly all gone. You're no longer the hero or savior of the story. Now you're the villain, desperately trying to prove that you're not. But the more you try, the more you fail. The more you fail, the harder you try, getting deeper and deeper into this vicious cycle. Number 4, the relationship is often emotionally intense, characterized by nasty fights instigated by the toxic person. But over time, you may find your behavior matching theirs, leaving you feeling very shameful, out of control, and out of character. For more information about reactive abuse, click on the link above. Number 5, you feel like you can't live with them and can't live without them. It's like an addiction where you see how bad the relationship is for you. You can see yourself unraveling, heading towards your own demise, and yet you feel helpless, unable to save yourself and get out of the relationship. If the relationship has already ended, you feel like a shell of a person, and you may even be considering going back to the relationship despite knowing that it's ruining you. Number 6, the abuser has a pattern of making promises that they don't follow through on and making it your fault. Essentially, you are living on hope, holding on to elusive promises for the future and memories of how amazing things used to be in the past, and feeling like you are the reason that your partner has changed and that the abuse is occurring. Number 7, you are trying to fix the abuser, praying that they will change and become less abusive. Despite all evidence to the contrary, you believe that your unconditional love, giving more, and more will fix the problem. But you feel defeated and like a failure because nothing works. And yet you still feel that strong need to save them. Number 8, You've been through the abusive cycle so many times that your threshold for abusive behavior has drastically changed, and you're putting up with things that you never thought you would. Things you wouldn't want your child or your friend or anyone you care about to accept in their relationship or in their lives. Number 9, there is a huge level of loyalty and sense of obligation towards the abuser. If anyone tries to talk to you about the abuse, you may rationalize, justify, minimize, or defend your abuser. Or if you can admit that abuse is happening, you have a variety of reasons why you can't leave the relationship, even though staying is costing you your sanity. Number 10, you know you are trauma bonded when the narrator in your head is no longer your own voice, but instead it's been replaced by the abuser's voice. You are perceiving and interpreting the world from their perspective, their narrative, and no longer connected to your authentic self or to your own sense of reality. Breaking a trauma bond is very similar to breaking free from a drug addiction. An addiction, by definition, is the urge to gain pleasure or relief by repeatedly doing something despite negative or painful consequences. A toxic, abusive relationship, like an addiction, starts out on a huge high. You've found the perfect drug, never-ending happiness, everything you've ever dreamed of. And then the illusion starts to crumble. The rug gets pulled out from under you as the devaluation starts and the abusive behavior intensifies. But you're already hooked. And as bad as the abuse is, what can even be worse is the fact that the person you love most, who says that they love you, is the one hurting you. In relationships that are cemented by a trauma bond, it's important to face reality and to recognize your own delusional thinking. Hoping that the abuser will change and get the help they need is delusional. Instead, look in the mirror and ask yourself why you're allowing someone to treat you this way and why you're not getting the help you need to break the trauma bond and recover from this experience. So understand that you cannot count on your abuser to break the trauma bond or to give you the love and care that you're seeking from them. You are barking up the wrong tree, and you need to start looking within yourself for what you need. If you're trying to leave or recover from an abusive relationship, it is critical to seek support, as there are so many legal and safety issues as well as serious psychological considerations. If you found this video helpful, please comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This lets YouTube know that my content is valuable and should be recommended to others. And to learn more about how to break a trauma bond, click on the link above.